Nobody warns you about this when you hang out your consulting shingle. You think success means landing clients, delivering results, building a reputation. That's not what success looks like. Not really. Success looks like this. A client calls you at 7:30 on a Tuesday morning. Their board meeting imploded. Their funding strategy collapsed. Their executive director just resigned. And they say, "We need you." You show up. You assess the situation in the first 20 minutes. You see the real problem, the one beneath the surface problem. You know exactly what they need to do. Not because you read it in a book. Not because some framework told you, but because you've been here before. 17 times, actually. You've watched this exact pattern play out across organizations, sectors, and crises. You know what works. More importantly, you know what doesn't. You guide them through it. 3 months later, they're stable, thriving even. The board chair sends you a note. You saved us. And you did. But here's what nobody sees. When that client called someone else first, a consultant with better marketing, a cleaner website, a more polished pitch deck, they picked them instead. Not because that consultant had better results, not because they had more experience, but because they could explain their process in 90 seconds. They had a diagram, a framework with a name, a one-page visual that made sense to a stressed-out board chair at 7:30 in the morning. You've been doing this work for 15 years. You have case studies, testimonials, a track record of transformation. But when someone asks, "What's your methodology?" you say things like, "Well, it depends on the situation." I take a customized approach. Every organization is different. All true, all absolutely correct, and all completely unhelpful. Because what they heard was, "I don't have a system. I figure it out as I go. I can't explain what I do." And so they hired someone else. Someone with half your experience and a 3-step model. That's the consultant's invisible expertise problem. You have a system. You've been using it successfully for years. You just never captured it. Never named it. Never drew it on one page so a client could see it in 3 minutes. And it's costing you, not just clients, money, positioning, pricing power, the ability to scale beyond trading time for money. Because here's the truth about consulting today. Expertise without documentation means becoming invisible. Clients can't buy what they can't see. And if you can't show them your method in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee, they'll hire someone who can, even if that someone delivers half the results you do. Now imagine something different happened. 6 months ago, someone said to you, "Let's capture your system." And you laughed. "What system? I just solve problems." But they insisted. So one afternoon, you sit down. Someone hits record. The red circle glows, and suddenly, the conversation shifts. Someone asks, "How do you assess a new client situation?" And instead of, "I just look at everything," you hear yourself say, "I map 3 layers. First, the presenting problem, what they think is wrong. Second, the systemic issue, what's actually creating the problem. Third, the readiness factor, whether they're prepared to implement the real solution." Most consultants stop at layer 1. I work at layer 3. You didn't know you had a system. But you do. Someone asks, "How do you handle mission drift?" And you realize, I use a mission alignment filter at every decision point. I ask 3 questions. Does this opportunity serve our core clients? Does it leverage our unique strengths? Does it move us toward our 5-year vision or distract from it? Most nonprofits say yes to everything that sounds good. I help them say yes only to what matters, and I never frame it as staying small. I frame it as increasing impact. You've been doing this instinctively. For years, you just never wrote it down. Later, the recording gets transcribed. AI analyzes it, and something remarkable happens. It extracts the patterns you didn't know you were following. It identifies your assessment framework. It captures your scoping methodology. It reveals your client transformation system. It even names the invisible architecture you've been building for 15 years. It turns how you work into a methodology others can understand. And then, poof, the genie appears. The wisdom that used to live only in your head becomes something real, something you can see, show, teach, sell. Now, when a prospective client asks about your approach, you don't fumble for words. You share your framework, your 3-layer assessment model that identifies presenting problems, systemic issues, and implementation readiness before you even propose a solution. Your transformation roadmap that shows clients exactly how you move them from crisis to clarity to sustainable systems. Your engagement architecture that demonstrates how you scope, deliver, and ensure lasting impact, not just quick fixes. Your readiness filter that helps clients understand whether they're actually prepared for the change they're requesting. Your results documentation system that captures outcomes in ways that build your reputation and generate referrals. 6 months later, you're in 3 competitive RFP processes. 2 years ago, you would have written long proposals explaining your experience. Now, you attach your 1-page visual framework. You win all 3, not because you changed what you do, because you made it visible. A prospect calls, says she's choosing between you and 2 other consultants. She's leaning toward the competitor, younger, cheaper, more aggressive. Then she sees your framework. "Wait," she says, "you actually have a system for this?" "I've been using it for 15 years, you tell her. The other consultant couldn't even explain their process. They just said they'd figure it out. She hires you at double the competitor's rate because documented expertise commands premium pricing. Another client, one you worked with 3 years ago, calls. "We want to license your framework. We're rolling out a capacity-building program across 20 organizations. Can we use your model?" Suddenly, you're earning revenue from intellectual property. Not just consulting hours. Your system works while you sleep. And the best part? You didn't do anything extraordinary. You just documented what you were already doing. You captured and named your system before someone else did. Wisdom captured becomes wisdom codified, becomes wisdom sold. Consultants don't need new skills. You already have the skills. You just need a way to make them visible, to codify what you've learned, and to package what took years to build. That's how we transform invisible expertise into marketable intellectual property. That's how we stop losing clients to consultants with better marketing and worse results. That's how we turn one consultant's hard-won methodology into a system that scales beyond hourly billing. We call it your Wisdom Genie. And once you experience it, you can't go back to a world where 15 years of consulting expertise remains locked in your head, while competitors with prettier slides win your clients. This is exactly what happens in the unique training we call Sell Your System. Framework design in 48 hours. Sign up today at nonprofitworld.us. You sit down with your lived experience. Someone hits record. Actually, Zoom does the recording for you. And you learn to capture, codify, and share in just 2 90-minute sessions. The framework already exists inside experienced consultants like you. You're just hitting the red button before someone else packages something similar and beats you to market. This training is perfect for nonprofit consultants, independent practitioners, and anyone who's watched less experienced competitors win contracts simply because they could draw their process on a napkin. Your system exists. Let's capture it before your next prospect hires someone else.